Let us clasp our hands together, close our eyes, bow our heads. As we concentrate on that form of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, as we perform, collectively we perform the sacred arati, the waving of that light and that circular motion symbolize the forging of that eternal bond between Bhagavan and Bhakta. Pangulangayate giran Yatripang mahavande Paramananda madhavam Om Sajayan Murti Sanyukan Vahinayo Dipam Grihana Devasya Trailokya Kimirapaha Yani Kani Japani Janmantar Kritani Cha Kani Kani Dinashyanti Pradakshana Pare Pare
Arati Kunja Bihari Ke Shri Giridhar Krishna Murari Ke Arati Kunja Bihari Ke
Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Take your seats, please. May I, on behalf of the members, the Board of Management, and the various committees and units of the Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram Incorporated, extend the most cordial welcome to this, the second night of our ongoing 7 nights Garud Puran Yajna. Tonight, as we journey through the Garud Puran, and we continue to understand the reality of our existence, and we continue to understand the nature of the soul, the Atma, within the body and after it have left the body. With this new insight, it is expected that with new knowledge, it will put you, the individual, in a better state of mind. It will transform your thinking, which will lead to a transformation of your lifestyle. It is the hope or the goal of our scriptures to bring about complete understanding and deepen your faith and commitment in the tenets of our tradition of Sanatana Dharma. Also, yajnas like these help us understand better our rites and rituals, which we'll continue to look at tonight. It will help us to separate the superstition from the injunctions of the scripture, and it will even help us to understand the relevance of certain traditional practices in our society. Before we go into the depths of tonight's discourse, let us clasp our hands together, close our eyes, bow our heads. Let us first concentrate on Bhagwan Ganapati, he who is the giver of success, the remover of all forms of obstacles. We seek the blessings of Divine Mother Saraswati, choose whose blessings we're able to absorb, assimilate, interpret, and make relevant the knowledge of our scriptures. We seek the blessings of our own Reverend Guru, who are the links between humanity and divinity, who are ambassadors of Bhagwan upon earth. To the presiding deity of our Garud Puran Yajna, we bow our heads in submission to the lotus-like feet of Bhagwan Krishna, in the hope that, oh Bhagwan, one day, when we come face to face with you, we will do it out of love and devotion, full of love and devotion, not hiding our face out of regrets and disappointments. So let us see that form of Bhagwan standing before us, Fix your gaze, your focus on his lotus-like feet, and offer the tulsi leaves, the flowers. Smell the perfume of the sandalwood on his body, and enjoy these few moments in divine bliss in the company of Bhagavan Krishna. Hear his basuri throughout the course of your stay here. Let your mind be focused on him. Forget about the troubles and distractions of the outside world. You didn't come here to bring the baggages with you. You come here to rejuvenate yourself, re-energize yourself, and recommit yourself. Together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Louder. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. As we continue to remain in that reflective mode, let us concentrate upon Bhagwan Shiva. Today, we are in the month of Shravan, sacred to Lord Shiva. It is the Krishna Chaturdasi of the month of Shravan. It is the monthly Shivratri. It is the second most important day in the Hindu calendar to Bhagwan Shiva. The first being MAH00248, which is in the month of Palguna. In the month of Shravan, Tirat to Bhagwan Shiva is important. And on the day of the Krishna Chaturdasi, or the day of the monthly Shivratri, the vigil, even after a hard day of Tirat, vigil throughout the night is very, very pleasing to Bhagwan Shiva. So let us all blend our voices together. And even if you can't sing, use your hands to clap. Let us sing praises to Bhagwan Shiva.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah
प्रेम से बोलो महापति महादेव की। Again, to all devotees who have taken time off from your home, from your family life to be here with us, we do appreciate the efforts that you are making. And as I look around, I see more of you here tonight from a wider cross-section of the country. Again, we have our devotees coming in from San Grande area. We have coming down from the Southland. Central is well represented here tonight. We have from Marchin, we have from Jerningham, Caroni, Savannah Road, Felicity, all about. On stage tonight, members of Saraswati Sangeet Bhakti Mandali, and joining us tonight, Mr. Singh Chandra coming in from Pinal Rock Road, Pandit Devendra Maharaj, who was here very early conducting our puja, and so their devotees from far and wide. You know, Trinidad is such a small place, and sometimes when I tell somebody, let me go in a prayer down the road or somewhere, so far we have to go. But them same people just find time to leave Trinidad and be in Times Square, huh? Or be on Hollywood Boulevard. But that's not far. That is right next door. But when it comes to God, it's far. Tonight's discourse, again taken from the Preta Kand of the Garud Puran. We continue our analysis and we pick up from right where we left off last night. Last night we concluded where the Yamaduts, upon reaching the individual at the appointed time directed by Yamaraj, the noose of death is bounded, the individual is bounded in the noose of death, and the soul is extracted from the body. And there is where we stopped. Tonight, you will understand that there are different parts of the body, different gates of the body which the soul comes out through. And depending on the gate the soul exits, you can predict with the guidance of the scripture the afterlife of the soul. Also, it is my hope to start looking, or if not to complete, at what happens to the body after the soul has been extracted from the body. We wouldn't be able to go into every single detail, but we can clarify certain traditional practice and separate a lot of the superstition that is involved with funeral from the reality of what scripture has ordained. And from tomorrow night, once we have disposed of the body tonight, from tomorrow night we focus only on the soul. Like I tell you, there is two diversions I'll be taking. The night we are talking about the Gau, the importance of the Gaudan with relevance to the soul. I will divert a little bit to Bhagavad Mahapuran, where I will extract why a cow. Remember I said you have to do your rites and rituals relevant to the time and circumstances that you live in. We are living in an age that is highly technological. Why do we still do Gaudan? Why we don't do Hilux Dan? We will discuss that in an upcoming night. If you are doing Hilux Dan, I'd have a foreign news business by now. Every month is a Gaudan somewhere else to do. And then we will look at the other divergence. On Wednesday night, we'll be diverting to Vishnu Puran, where we will be looking at the greatness and the glory of the Shaligram. And the reason why we are doing it Wednesday night, I want to give you the information up front. So Thursday, when we have our Shaligram Puja, you will be better able to understand the importance of that simple offering of placing a tulsi leaf on that Shaligram, what it can do for you, not only for you but for your descendants and even for your ancestors. So on Wednesday night, we'll be focusing only on the Shaligram and the greatness of the Shaligram. And then from Thursday night, we'll be back to Garu Puran until... So we started off with 1 year before death last night, and hopefully by the time the year ends, you will be reborn. I'll take you back to the womb and the time of birth, and you'll see where all karma comes into all of that. So last night I left you where Yamraj, the Yamduts under the instruction of Yamraj, has bounded this soul, the Jiva Atma, and they are in the process of extracting the soul. Now, the imagery you might get in your mind is that once you are bounded, the soul is bounded, and the soul just comes out of the body. Yes, it comes out of the body, but not just raises off the body. There are gates, different gates or exit points of the body, governed by the different chakras of the body. Depending on where the soul comes from, you can have an indication as to the afterlife. And where the soul exits the body depends on this life, not last life. Garu Puran, as I indicated last night, is a discussion between Garuji and Bhagwan Vishnu. Ved Vyas had recorded this discussion, and because the discussion was initiated by Garuji, he named this text Garu Puran. So Garuji is asking, O Narayan, when the Yamaduts using the Mrityu Pasha, remember I told you what that was? The Mrityu Pasha. Pasha means noose, Mrityu means death, the noose of death. When the Mrityu Pasha, when the soul is bounded in the Mrityu Pasha, and the Yamduts are extracting the soul from the body, how does the soul exit the body? So what was the question? How does the soul exit the body? Now let us hear what Lord Vishnu has to say. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah, Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah, Shri Krishna Jivaketa Charantikaya Arisa Sarasatipaya Harira Hira Sarasatipaya Naramari Sarasatipaya Shri Krishna Charanama Shri Krishna Charanama प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की. Remember, I tell you last night, when you don't take the name of God, Yamraj just run, come towards you fast, you know. But from the time you started chanting the name of God, he is back. So if you're anxious to see him, stay quiet. Right? By the time this yak done, I tell all you could go and tell everyone, let's see Yamraj. Watch him right here. Alright. And as again an invitation, when the yagya is over, that is every night satsang, come and look at the picture and study it. That is Garu Puran in its entirety in picture form. Get away from the idea, this concept of death is scary. It is part of evolution. If death never takes place, you cannot move on. Life cannot progress. Yes, it is sad because of their attachment. It is quite alright to be sad. It is not okay to be fearful. There is where the troubles and the difficulties come. So Lord Vishnu is saying, bounded in the noose of death, the Jiva Atma is extracted from the body through the various sense organs. O Guruji, these senses, these gates of the body as they were called, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth and the anal opening, they are controlled by the 7 chakras of the body. The soul must make its way through the chakra and then through the various sense organ. And depending on the sense organ the soul exits can indicate the life, the future life of the Jiva Atma. O Garud, the Yamaduts are not independent. They have all their instructions from Yama as to time, place, circumstances and methodology used to extract the soul. Obedient to the instructions of Yama, when the noose of death is bounded to the soul, the soul is extracted through one of these gates according to Yama's instruction. O Guruji, know for certain, Yama's instructions are based solely on his account of your good and bad karma. So in other words, what we have been made to understand, Lord Vishnu is saying, based on your karma, based on the way you live your life, when time comes for the soul to leave this body, depending on your good or your bad karma, the soul is extracted accordingly. And Lord Vishnu continues, he says, O Guruji, the 3 upper chakras, that is the Vishuddha chakra, that is the throat, the chakra right in the center of the throat, the Anaja chakra, the one in the eye, the center of the forehead, the third eye, and the Srahastadara chakra. These 3 chakras, when the soul exits these chakras, they go to the realms of the devatas. When the soul exits through the Vishuddha chakra, you go to Indralok, where you stay thousands of divine years. When it leaves through the Anaja chakra, you go to the realms of your Ishta Devta and you reside in the company of the Ishta Devta. O Garuji, but when the soul leaves from the crown of the head, the Srahasta chakra, there is no more rebirth, for you merge totally and completely into divinity himself. You become one with Brahman. So to bring them back to simple terms, with the exception of the top of the head, when the soul leaves the top of the head, you are never reborn again. Any other part of the body, you have to be reborn on earth. In Hinduism, the concept of heaven is not permanent. Hinduism, unlike other faiths, makes a clear distinction between salvation and liberation. Salvation is like when you go on for a real long good holiday. But one day to come, you must return from that vacation. Moksha or liberation is like you're going home, you finish, you enjoy yourself, and you're going home permanently, never to return again. That is moksha. You become one with Bhagwan. So the concept of heaven in Sanatana Dharma is temporary. That is why in the Vedas, in the Upanishad, especially in our Upanishads, they tell you, do not aspire for heaven. It is temporary. Just as life upon this earth here is temporary. When the good karma that causes you to go to the heavenly regions has expired, you have to reborn upon the face of this earth to go through this cycle of samsara again and again. So salvation is not permanent. All other faiths, they do not make a distinction between liberation and salvation. Hinduism is the only dharma that makes a clear distinction between salvation and liberation. Liberation, there is no more coming back, no matter what the circumstances could be. Salvation, no matter how good you are, you have to come back at some point in time. So tonight you understand another concept. And you see the soul doesn't only come out from one side of the body or from any fixed places, depending on the quality of life you lead. So let me ask you a question before I continue. If the soul is coming out from the three upper chakras and you're getting heavenly blessings, what type of life would that individual have lived? Huh? A good life, isn't that so? A good life, good from a scripture point of view, good from a dharma point of view. A drug lord lives a good life too. And he lives a good life. He had the best of everything. He lived in a good life. So when your life has been governed by dharma and you live in accordance with dharma, that is, now there are some compulsory duties that you have to follow as a human being. Once the soul has taken human birth, there is something called nitya karmas, which we cannot get into now. You realize that to discuss all of these in detail, we need more than 7 nights, right? We need a whole month and more. Now what you all come in here, man? Or the can lie, I'm not watching all it. There are something called nitya karmas and neti karmas, compulsory duties and regular and occasional duties. Once the soul has taken human born birth, your nitya karmas or your compulsory duties is a must, regardless of your circumstances. There is no excuse. And neglect of your nitya karmas allows you to devolve, that is to go down. Your occasional duty, depending on, again, time, place and circumstances, you perform accordingly. For example, once you are born as a human being, you must perform your sandhya, and your sandhya varies according to the instruction of your guru. Once you're born, that is compulsory. Once you're born a human being, you're expected to perform karma kand, puja. Puja varies according to time, place, and your circumstances. If you could never afford to do a yajna in your life, will you be held responsible for that? No, that is occasional. But the yajna that you can be performing, seva, that is a form of yajna. So your occasional duties, depending on circumstances, God will not hold it against you, but your nitya karma, your compulsory duties. You know, you have some people say, if I don't know God to forgive me, that is the fattest and the biggest lie it have. Once you are born a human being, you are supposed to perform certain compulsory duties, whether you know it or not. That is why in our scriptures, they tell you from the time the child starts to think independently, between the ages of 7 to 9, I'll take that child, let him form a relationship with a qualified guru, be initiated by him, and study under his care. Not when he becomes big man and woman. When those of you plant garden, when the trees, when do you straighten your plant? When it get a big tree or when it's a seedling? When it is prop him up and tie him up and thing? When he growing, isn't that so? How many of you want to stick a bamboo rod by a coconut tree and try to straighten it? Is that possible? No. Time, place, and circumstances again. You do it within the ordinary time and the child is going to benefit maximum from it. And there is where you learn as a human being what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. And guided by those principles as you go through your life, you will know when certain stages reach in your life, certain circumstances occur in your life, how to deal with the situation. It is very practical. Lord Vishnu continues, when the soul leaves through the 3 lower chakras, it is very agonizing. Death becomes very agonizing. It is very painful and very torturous as the soul is being extracted. There a lot of agony, a lot of pain is experienced by the jiva. And the Yamaduts, applying tremendous force, extracts in a very rough manner the soul from the body. Under the pressure or the force or the brutality of the Yamaduts, most of the time the jivas being extracted from the body, they will soil themselves. So sometimes you see when somebody pass away and they mess up themselves? No, sometimes. Not because the person has a medical condition before. We're talking about normally a person who never had them kind of problem, and upon that happens, the soul has exited through the lower chakras. Such an individual, such a jiva, goes to the hellish regions. And upon suffering the consequences of their bad karma, after a period of time, they are reborn upon earth in the kingdom of the animals or plants. So look at what you put yourself through again by your behavior. So we cover the 3 lower chakra and the 3 upper chakra. We'll miss out one, isn't that so? So we'll chakra in the heart center now. So we talk about the 3 upper chakra, the 3 lower chakra. The chakra in the heart center. When the soul is extracted through the chakra at the center of the heart, the Jiva Atma experience some degree of complications because of attachment, because of the bond of Maya. Such Jivas are reborn upon earth to work out their good and bad karma. They usually take human form and they are allowed to continue from where they have left off. And this reminds me, many years ago, I was listening to a discourse by Baba, and he's telling his devotees, try your best and get the energy of your body to reside in the heart. Only then you will become human. And better yet, from the heart, send the energy higher. So you become Devta. You become divine. Do not let the energy fall below the heart. You become animal. At that time, that is before I started doing research in scripture. This is when I was still a teenager. I was thinking about Baba meaning behavior. People, how they behave. Some people behave ridiculous like animals. Some people behave very peacefully, very progressively. But after doing research now, I see Baba was talking more about, while he's talking about behavior at one level, he's referring to where the soul will go to eventually. And the energy he is referring to is the Atma, to reside in the body. Let the Atma, let the energy of the Atma forever be in the heart. That is why in Sanatan Dharma, the abode of Bhakti is where? Huh? Where is the abode of Bhakti? When you have to love God, where you can love Him with? Your liver? Huh? You can, imagine you have your little boyfriend and girlfriend say, I love you with all my liver. My kidney and my lungs too. Huh? Where does the emotion of love reside? Or which organ is used to symbolize the emotion of love? The heart. Right? Not necessarily the biological heart, but the heart is said to be, even in ancient philosophy of other culture, to be the abode of love and devotion. You know, all the fellas will come out easy, but tell your girlfriend, yeah, you love she all the kidney and thing too. You don't have to buy no diamond ring, you know, you might have kidney stone. You might get lucky. So, what we have just looked at is the exit of the soul from the body, and let us basically summarize before I move on. When the soul leaves through the 3 lower chakras, it is very painful, and the soul usually goes to the hellish region, and before it is reborn upon, when it is reborn upon earth, it is reborn first in the kingdom of the plants and the animals, before it gets human form again. When the soul goes through the 3 upper chakras, it is very peaceful. Sometimes, when death occurs, it doesn't even feel like it have a death in the place. The place becomes light, it remains light. And there's a calm composure on the face of the deceased. We're talking about the fancy makeup and things that us do these days, eh? When the soul leaves through the 3 upper chakra, then it usually goes to the abode of the Devatas. And when it is reborn upon earth, it is reborn in a very high human status. When the soul leaves through the heart chakra, when time comes for the soul to reincarnate, it is reborn as a human being and given the privilege to move forward in life. So the question now comes, where are you? Where are you in this cycle of evolution? Your behavior, your karmas will determine how you exit this body when that time comes. And whether you are looking at the Puranas, whether you are looking at the Upanishads, whether you are looking at the Veda, karma is described as being committed at 3 levels. How many of you ever had the concept of body, mind and soul? Or word, thoughts and deeds? You all grew up hearing about those things, right? Word, thoughts and deeds. What are they referring to? Your action is karma. Your physical action, those are karma. What you say is also karma. And what you think is also karma. So look at the levels at which In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna says, those individuals who restrain the senses from the objects of pleasure but mentally reside on them is nothing but a pretender. And O Arjuna, there is no one more dangerous than a pretender. Meaning, outwardly, you're showing the world that you're doing everything good, you're behaving yourself. But inside here, you're rotten too bad. You're bad-minded in every possible way. I may not know what you have in your mind. That is not my business. Who knows? Who knows? And you see who writing there? Them fellas don't take bribe at all, you know. So your karmas are generated at 3 levels: your mind, your speech, and your actions. All of them put together forms what we call karma. And based on the karma of this life, not what you came with from the past, will determine how you leave this body and enter into the next. So be careful of your words, be careful of your thoughts, be careful of your deeds. All the ulterior motives and so on, you may be able to fool a few people with it, but eventually it's working against you. When you do something, say something or think something, do it genuinely. Don't pretend. And why does Bhagwan Krishna says a pretender is very dangerous? If someone outwardly is a demon, he knows that person is destructive by nature. If someone outwardly is a devta or sadhu, you know those people are peaceful by nature. But when you come pretending, you don't know how to catch that individual. You don't know how to be cautious. That individual could deceive you. That is why Bhagwan Krishna says, "Oh Arjuna, a pretender is very dangerous." So we have seen how the soul leaves the body. And once the soul has been extracted from the body, it is now in the custody of the Yamaduts. And what is left behind? What is left behind? The body, the dead body. And what is the definition of death I gave you last day? The permanent separation of the soul from the body is called death. So when the soul has been extracted from the body, only then, from a scripture point of view, you are declared dead. So what we'll do now, we'll divert our katha in such a way that we'll start to look based. I'll have to summarize because of time. What do we do once death has been confirmed? Alright? And then from tomorrow, once we dispose of the body, we go back to what happens to the soul. Once Yamaraj has the soul in his custody now. So now death has occurred. What is our responsibility pertaining to the body? Let us hear. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah 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 Prem se bolo Vrindavan Vihari Lal ki. So death has occurred. And what is the first thing you do? The near and dear ones must be informed. Then you consult your Guru. And Guru would say, it says here, Shishya Guru ki seva panchanga nirvara he karikila. That is, you will consult the Guru, and the Guru will now, what you will go to the Panchang. What is the Panchang? Right, well it is going to say Patra. It has nothing called Patra. Yeah, Panchang. And what do we look for? We look for the conditions of death. We'll take the date and the time of the person's passing, and there are certain things we look for to know whether the death is an auspicious death or an inauspicious death. Things like the Panchang, the Pancha, things like the Dvipushkar and the Tripushkar, those are things you look for. And if the proper Shanti rituals are not performed, it can have disaster. And it is not superstition. We have the experience where Panchak rituals were not performed and people in the family started passing away and so on. And let me tell you my personal experience. You see some of them who convert and they say they're doing this and they're doing that on that different rite. You will hear something later on in Garu Puran when Yama is passing judgment. He's going to look at what he calls Swadharma. An important word I want you to understand. What is your Swadharma? Your natural born duties. The duties that God put you on earth to fulfill. That is your Swadharma. When you neglect your Swadharma, it has nothing you could say that convinced the Yamraj for you're not doing it. So those of you, because of whatever influence there is in society, I have had the experience already. People convert to other religion, pass away, they did their rites and ritual under that new religion they adopt. And when trouble take them over, as we say, flour more than water. Baba, come and do the Panchakshanti for me now. Most of the time when I run the tail, who put you in that? Let it go and take your head. That is not my work. If you did do the proper thing in the first place, you would not be there. When they come and say, well, I changed my religion. I say, what happened? You're balling here, God could save you all the time. Where you going on vacation now? So next day, as again, all of these are topics we'll be touching in Garu Puran. What is your Swadharma and how important it is. And in Garu Puran it states, again it continues that after consulting the Panchang, the Guru will make prescriptions, he will give the recommendation as to the type of rites and rituals, how the rites and rituals are supposed to develop. Now in Trinidad we have a standard rite for the funeral. The funeral ceremony, thank God, is one standard procedure. If it was like the wedding and everybody had a little thing here and there, you can imagine the confusion that takes place. But you know why? It don't happen so much in funeral, but it's happening, stupidness is happening in wedding. Why? They're afraid. It's death you're playing with, they're afraid. So you tell them do something and they're quick to do it, they'll listen to you. But they go on to the wedding now, Some of the most disgusting thing you see, when time to go around, you smell, you reach by the baby, you smelling rum on the boy and the girl breath. Some of them done had 2-3 child and they stand out to do kanya down and put sindura and all kind of thing. But they want wrong wedding. So in wedding we get plenty of them kind of bacchanal happening. Boy side want one type of ritual because of circumstances in his family. Girl side want the total opposite. And some of the pundits and all that has fostered these kind of stupidness to her. You're not supposed to cut and paste that procedure. If you're doing, look for example, some people tell you they want everything done one day and they want to do simple temple wedding, or what they call temple wedding, or they understand that, right? But they want to put, they don't want to do matikur, they want to tie kangan, and they want to do all the rites and rituals associated with a ground wedding, a 3-day wedding, one day. Common sense now. Part of the ground wedding starts, when does the ground wedding start? Friday. What's the importance of this? And tell me where this stupidness has come from. The kangan in your hand, right? This is just one aspect I'm choosing. The kangan in your hand. What we just used to make that kangan? Huh? The dhan rice, right? Where we get that dhan rice from? The puja store? You go and pick up, and I'm talking about, you know, and that stupidness you see? When time to patch the rice, they put in popcorn in it now. Right? I'm telling you things not what other people tell me, what I see for myself. When they go for the matikur and they bring back that rice and they pong it, that is where they make your kangan with, right? So if you eliminate the Friday, nothing wrong in eliminate, because there are different vidhis for wedding, right? There's simple wedding and there's that complicated ritual. Nothing wrong with it. What you mustn't do is cut and paste the procedure. Who gave you the right to tamper with something that God has written? Huh? Then you're wondering why it has so much a breakup in our society today. So they prepare nothing Friday night. They come in with kangan and things Sunday morning. Where they get that from? When time to offer on the dairy, I know nothing done Friday night. That rice when they patch it, they pong it Friday night, they patch it Saturday morning, Saturday night. Sunday they bring it and they mix the two lava together. That is what they go offer on the dairy while they're doing the production. Isn't that so? If they never started Friday, how the hell they get it Sunday? They buy it on Amazon? You see the stupidness people must do? And then when they... Again, I can't use the words I want to use sometime, you know, on this thing as well. Huh? But when you tamper with authentic procedures, the outcome is devastating. So let me go back to Garu Puran. Let me leave the wedding and for next time. Talking about them kind of things, sometimes just getting vexed. Right? Let me use the fear to the advantage. They're afraid they're dead, so they're going to do the correct thing. They'll do what they tell them to do. So after the Panchang has been consulted, the appropriate ritual are given. And I'm giving you this piece of information, so some of you may travel to India at some point in time and you'll hear different things, so when you hear it, you know it's not wrong. Now in India, there are a variety of procedures to dispose of the body. Scripture recommends 3, all fall into 3 categories. 1, cremation. You all know about cremation in Trinidad, right? It is the most appropriate way of getting rid of the remains, right? Especially in this age of Kali Yuga. It is the most clean and the most efficient way of getting rid of the corpse. And what that does at a spiritual level too, when the soul has exited the body, the soul, just like the living well, it breathes, right? Because remember, realization hasn't taken place yet, so the soul will still feel everything that, so before I go on there, let me give you some other information, and that is in keeping with what we're doing. Once the soul comes out of the body, how do you behave? Huh? Exactly how you behave now, you have all of those behaviors, all of those sensations after the soul comes out of the body. The only thing different is you don't have a body. So if you like to quarrel, you'll be a miserable zombie. If you like to sleep, you'll feel sleepy a lot. In other words, everything that you do, and all your likes and all your dislikes, all your vasanas are there in the astral body with you. The only thing different is you do not have a physical body. So if you like to make bacchanal, you will be just like that after you're dead. If you like peace and quiet, you'll be like that after you leave the body. So the mind doesn't die. What we call in medical science, the mind refers to the brain, right? In Sanatana Dharma, the consciousness that flows through the brain is the chitra, or the mind. And that is, the source of that is the Jiva Atma. So the mind is withdrawn into the consciousness of the body, in the astral body. So all of the bodies, except the physical body, I would remember the other day I told you have different koshas or different bodies within the physical body. So in the absence of the physical body, the mind energy dominates. So you have all your feelings, all your sensations. So if you are alcoholic, even after death, you will have the craving for alcohol. If you are drug addict, you will have the craving for drugs. If you are a bandit, you will continue to be a bandit after you're dead. In other words, exactly how you are, just picture yourself without your body, and that's how you're going to be after death. So back to disposal of the body. Cremation is considered to be the most clean and efficient way of disposing of the body, and the most highly recommended in the scripture. By destroying the corpse through the medium of fire, you do not only purify the elements that makes up the corpse, but you also cut the grieving time of the soul. Because the body has been destroyed, it allows the soul to move forward faster. The other recommended method is burial. And coincidentally, did burial occur in ancient India? In ancient script, in our scriptures, did burial occur? Huh? Somebody suggest an answer now. Yes. The first recorded, I'm not saying the first in Hinduism, the first recorded from a scripture point of view, burial we have is who? Again, go back to the Ramayana. How did Sita leave the earth? How did Sita Mata leave? Huh? She went back to the earth that she came. The earth opened and she went down. And there is where burial started in Hindu tradition. That method, whilst it is not recommended for the average person like you and I, because it allows the soul to remain around the gravesite and grieve until the corpse is totally decomposed. A boon was given to Dharati Mata. You have to understand this, you'll have to go to Harivansh Puran, which is a book that deals with the 32 years of the last 32 years of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna had given a boon to Dharati Mata that when the saints and the sages died, Dharati Mata was complaining that when Kali Yuga come, unrighteousness will be so rampant. And he's telling you, give Ganga that when the blessing that when the holy ones bathe in Ganga, their energy will purify the Ganga. What blessings are you going to give me? So Krishna says, when the holy ones die, let their bodies be merged into the earth. And the energy is trapped within their body through the recitation of their mantras and their tapasya. will release into the earth and purify you. That is why when great sages and saints die, they bury them. They don't burn them. Those of you who follow the teachings of Sai Baba, when he died, did they burn him? Right in the side, pull one hole there, dug the hole and they bury him there. All of the great saints who have become self-realized, they don't cremate them. They bury them. That is why when you go to certain places in India, you tell you this is the samadhi of this rishi or the samadhi of that rishi. And what do I mean by samadhi? The last resting place. And the other way that Garu Puran recommends for the disposal of the body, which is highly illegal in Trinidad, is disposal. Throw it away for the kobos to eat. And that is recommended for all those who violated every possible tenets of Dharma, like the criminals. You dispose of their bodies straight away and let the animals feed on it. So this is Garu Puran, the three ways in which the body is disposed of. Two is legal in Trinidad and one is illegal even in India. But in ancient days, that is how they was to do it. Huh? That is why the Guru was consulted, and based on the life of the devotee, most of the time the cremation was the first step. If it was somebody great, they would bury. But if it was a vagabond, came and dump him somewhere. And the vultures will do the rest. So these are the three recommended ways of disposing of the body, and again, for the interest of time, let me just summarize for you all. Once your date for funeral has been set, and this is just clarify some of you who just have some kind of confusion or misconception sometimes. When do you set your shaving and your bandara? When do you set the dates for shaving and bandara? If you die today and you cremate, today is what, Monday, and you cremate Wednesday, when do you set the days for shaving and bandara? Checking from the day you die or from the day of disposal of the body? Very good. From the day of disposal of the body is when you start checking to know when to do your appropriate rituals. We have had situations in this country already, because of police investigation, the corpse had to be seized, and you know how them just work here in the forensic science lab, they'll have it 2-3 weeks put on. So what are you telling me? You had to do funeral yet, but you want to do bandara and shaving? What kind of madness is that? Post-funeral rites are meant on the reason why they call post-funeral, after funeral. The funeral has to take place first. All of our post-funeral rites, whether I call it shaving, whether I call it bandara, whether it's the 1 year, they are meant to purify you, to break the bonds of attachment between you and the deceased, and to allow you to go forward and the soul to go forward. So after you have disposed of your body, now we say shaving, but there is nothing called shaving, it's something called dasgat. Das means what? 10, right? The reason why, again, because of the lack of understanding what people see, that is how they form association. So when they go by the river and they see the Mahapata and them, or the now and them shaving the person, they come back and they say, guys, shaving. It doesn't have nothing called shaving. Learn the correct terminology. Das means 10. 10 what? 10 from the day of disposal of the body. And that ritual must be performed by a suitably qualified person that specializes in that rituals. That is why your Mahapatra is not supposed to be a house pandit. Your house pandit could know how to do it, but he has to guide you. But the person who does that ritual, your place is still unclean. That person does not take part in Vedi Puja. He is reserved for that type of rituals. And don't think that by he doing that is any less than a normal pandit doing any rituals. just that he specializes in that type of ritual only. And the tradition is different depending on, like for example, the Brahmins, the Kshatris and the Vaishya, they will have their unique traditions in their, within their category. Like for example, sometimes you will hear your Mahapatra is asking, and people is asking me how valid is these things. Again, it has to do with tradition. That you have to offer things like gold and all that kind of thing. Remember in the days when the kings and so on, the royalty, when they die, they could afford to offer that kind of thing. Offering gold by big amount. You have to adjust to the modern day living, modern day society. We have no more kings and queens and thing around. But the offering at the end, you have to do it according to the ordinance of the scripture. Then you have your Bhandara ritual. And your Bhandara ritual takes place when? Again, depending on your family tradition, Bhandara can take place 11 days, 12 days, most of the time 13 days. If you are very sure with caste and so on, lineage is concerned, certain rishis, because of the lineage, they will have it on 11 days. Certain rishis, they will have theirs on the 12 days. The Kshatris, they more follow that one, the 12-day one. But in Trinidad, where we have a scenario where everybody is everybody, 13 days Bhandara is most appropriate if you are not sure. How many of you ever see a birth certificate from India? You know, in the Indian birth certificate, even up to today, they record who is your father, your name, your father name, which is still common in Trinidad birth paper too, but the gotra, the lineage you belong to, you'll also record it on your birth certificate. In Trinidad, those things are not, on the Western culture, those things are not relevant to us. So in the absence of not being sure, stick to the 13 days tradition. And there is with the Pinda Dan being done. Now it's unfortunate I cannot go into the details of the Pinda Dan and all that kind of thing. But in the process of the Garu Purana, you will see the importance of offering Pinda. Alright? When we started talking about the journey to the abode of Yam. But the details of as to what you do and what you don't do, like some of the traditions I wanted to touch on, like when you're doing your Dud Muhi in the evening time, why you just had to get a big strapped man to go with cutlass and fire stick and all that kind of thing. Huh? All those superstitions that is intertwined in the Dharma. If you don't understand them, it's going to mess you up. If Jambi really want to do you something, holding a cutlass in your hand can make a difference. Use a little bit of common sense nowadays, now people. Huh? Them thing, stick to the mantras, stick to the vidhi. What I just tell people, once the Pandit is involved, that is what is written in scripture. What this one say and that one say, you could forget it and still be comfortable. Typical example, long ago, when somebody died, they make you take down all the curtains, leave all the light on in your house. I challenge anyone, do that nowadays now. Who are you helping? You're helping the bandit, you're helping yourself. Stupid tradition, founded on superstition. Look, another thing and all that is superstition. It has nothing to do with scripture. When 6 days and 12 days of childbirth now, and right now there's a case before the courts in Trinidad. You know, long time we had a tradition when child born after 6 days, after 12 days, they putting them in basin or soup and thing and dragging them all over the place. You know, right now there's a case in front of the courts where a child ears get damaged because of started beating this and that taking place, and the Children's Authority was notified and they charged the parents for doing those stupidness. That is the same parents here in Trinidad, if they go and they had a child abroad, in the US or Canada, they dare not do that. They will come and take that child and lock them up right away. But when they're in Trinidad, they want to do it. So one case right now I know of is in front of the courts. And that is only the beginning. Make an example of it and you see how that stupidness gets stuck. What you doing when a child now come out of the mother's womb, the environment is strange. The child is still learning the scent of the environment, still learning the noise in the environment. Even big people, when they now move in a house for the first time, it takes you a little while to adjust. And this little child, you traumatizing them by dragging them like a little animal all over the place. You see, you want yourself to chain you and drag you all about you? Well, watch. That is what they're doing. Huh? You do that, you get your turn and all. Again, understand your rites and rituals. Do not get carried away by superstition. On another occasion, when we have time, we could discuss the superstition part of shaving, and the superstition part of Bhandara, and the superstition part of from the day of death. Them days, everybody is how you say, you can't sleep in this one bed, you can't put on this one clothes, or sort of rubbish. I just can't believe some educated people, they had degree and thing, and they still come and talk such a nonsense sometimes. If I could put on this color of clothes, if I could go here, if I could go there, and it is be overwhelming sometimes. There's one of these people have a brain in their head at all. You look like when the man dead, your brain dead too. So while Panditji conducts our final Havan, we'll have an appropriate bhajan that is telling you to perform, to do what you can while you are alive. Don't wait until they take you to the banks of the Ganga, or in Trinidad, the Waterloo Caroni River. Don't wait till they put the tulsi gel in your mouth. Do it while you can right now.
Swami Jagatan